Hey, welcome back to All Things Baseball, episode 11. And this one is season ending awards. We're going to do some predictions and the playoff push.
Yeah.
Cue the intro music. All right, so this is episode 11. This is a week left in the season.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of the playoff picture is taken care of, but we thought we'd take a kind of a look at the major leagues for awards and for what our predictions are, and so we can obviously follow what's going on through the playoffs and the World Series. We were going to do an interview, our first interview, and we had a little bit of trouble in the studio. Nothing to worry about, but we just had to postpone that.
How many wasp stings did you have?
Not too many, but we took care of it. Everything's fine, except for the one right over your shoulder. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we're fine. We're going to send a teaser out when we do our first interview, so everybody will know who that's going to be. It's going to be really exciting. So anyway, but this is episode 11, and we thought it'd be a good time, end of the season. But there's 7, 8 games left, depending on the team.
8 games, yeah. So about 2 series left for each respective team. Yeah, we just wanted to do a recap of who's still left in the race.
Right. Oh, by the way, before we really get into it, I just want to say that we just came from playing pickleball, and I would want to ask Johnny a question. Like yesterday, did you win any games?
No.
And when you played with me, I didn't play with you yesterday. Did we win?
We went 2-1. Yeah,
we went 2-1.
Yeah, we did.
I just wanted to slip that in for our fans out there. I know there's thousands of fans that we have. Johnny plays without me. I didn't take it personal. It was okay. He played with some stiff. Then he asks me to play.
Yeah,
I said,
we got 2 wins. We
got 2 wins, 2 out of 3. And then we took a shower. We hustled here so we could record this podcast. I just wanted to slip that in because obviously I'm kind of the go-to guy in the pickleball family. So
you helped me win. More games than I won yesterday. So
no, I'm just kidding. Fun. Anyway, so we're going to jump right in here. You want to do the awards first? Or
yeah. So okay. We took a look at all of the top contenders for the awards in Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Cy Young. So We'll just jump right into it. The National League Rookie of the Year, it looked like there were 2 contenders. And if you've been following, it's Paul Skeens and Jackson Merrill.
Yeah. Right.
We had a long conversation about pitchers versus position players and how you kind of compare those two. It's like apples to oranges.
Yeah, and we talked about this because I gave you the Nolan Ryan example. I said, Nolan Ryan throughout his whole career was a great pitcher.
Yeah.
He's on some crappy teams. And so it's hard to have an impact when you're pitching once a week or playing once a week. I mean, you can win that game, but he lost a lot of games too because he didn't have good supporting cast. So,
and what we talked about was the value that these players bring to their organizations. So we'll read the stat line and then kind of go over, the value that they're bringing to their teams and the season they're having with their team. So Paul Skeens right now, as of September 23rd, has a 1.99 ERA. He's 11-3 with 167 strikeouts, and I think he's only pitched, over 100 innings.
Just 100 or 110 or
109, 110. Okay. It's he got called up later in the season.
Right.
It was early, but
I mean he's been dominant. Many starts.
Definitely, strong contender for Rookie of the Year. And then there's Jackson Merrill. He's hitting currently 292. He has 24 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and a 4.0 WAR. So, and he's had I want to say, don't quote me on this. We can get a fact check later, but I think it's around 4 to 6 game-winning home runs.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's a good stat. A 4 WAR is like close to all-star level. For a rookie, that's pretty good. So he's been a major reason for the Padres, right?
Definitely. I mean, they are. We'll get into it, but the Padres are 90-66, and the Pirates, I believe, they're not in contention.
Right, and that just goes to, again, my Nolan Ryan example. Yeah. You can have a great pitcher, but you're once a week you're making an impact on your team, whereas an everyday player, stealing bases, playing good defense, doing all the things, good base running. Baseball is more than just, one thing, hitting, one thing, pitching. There's a lot of things to it. And so I lean towards, the everyday player.
Yeah.
Historically, I think the leagues have always leaned towards position players, everyday players, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I can't think of too many Rookie of the Year pitchers. I know there have been, I know like Fernando Valenzuela back in the day. But
you can make the argument too that Skeens he's an all-star,
right,
and got called up drafted last year.
Yeah,
last year's draft as the number 1 overall pick, and got called up this year, and it's made a huge splash already.
Sure.
Is do
you think he's a candidate for Cy Young, or not enough
starts? I don't think enough starts. When I looked, but definitely for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I would have to lean towards Merrill because
Right.
I do want to see what he can do in the playoffs, and that will really kind of.
I don't think they count the
No,
playoff
they
stuff, but for you personally,
yes,
Yeah.
I'd like to see if he holds his own and produces, and it's still a good stick, and he
Right.
plays good defense. So
okay,
I'd like to see what happens.
All
there.
right, so that's the National League Rookie of the Year. It's between those two, you think?
I think it goes to Merrill.
I
think it goes to Merrill.
Is there a dark horse third that's anybody's mentioning? It just seems to be those two.
Yeah. I didn't really see anybody else that was kind of
stood out. Okay.
Yeah.
What about American League Rookie of the Year?
Came down to Luis Gil and Colton Cowser. Luis Gil has as of right now, 3.27 ERA. He's 15-6 and 166 strikeouts. Cowser is currently hitting .244 with 22 home runs, 767 OPS, and a 2.7 WAR. And
is there anybody else?
Not really. No.
Really?
And nobody else really qualified. So we've watched Gil pitch. He had,
he was dominant in a lot of starts.
Early on,
and then he's found it a little bit late. But there was a period of time he was getting
just like a month, it was
just
bad,
shelled. Yeah. But 3.27 ERA is good overall.
Yeah, I'd give the nod to him. 244. That's pretty low for.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are leaning towards him just because of the power numbers, and he's.
How many home runs does he have?
22. He's been a consistent stick for them in the lineup.
Yeah.
With the 2.7
and OPS
767.
It's respectable, but it's average for the league. I
guess. But as a rookie, you lean that way, I guess, because
if you are out there and you know of someone you think is a good AL Rookie of the Year, send it in the comments in the YouTube. It just seems like there's got to be somebody else, but I know you kind of search.
Well, I remember Julio won Rookie of the Year in 2022, but he hit 270, and he had 25, 30 stolen bases.
Right.
So a good year.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they expect.
Plus, he played the elite position again. Cowser's a corner guy.
But last year was kind of a runaway with Gunnar and Corbin.
For sure.
Those guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. So you're leaning towards.
I guess Eel.
Eel.
How about you?
Okay. I don't like going. I'm going to stay with the everyday guy. They're in second place, and he's been a part of it. So
definitely, he hasn't gotten dropped, and he's been consistent.
He plays good defense. I know he plays good defense. He's fast. He's a good base runner. All right.
Who did you actually go for an NL Rookie of the Year?
I always go with the position players, so I go with the Padre.
Okay, that's who I went with.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go to MVP. We'll start off with AL this time. So we got Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. It's been talked about pretty much the last month and a half.
It has. Bobby Witt Jr. has tailed off a bit. He's hitting, 325?
Currently 334.
Okay. Well, still, but he's only got 32 home runs, 103 RBI? 108?
Yeah.
Okay.
30 stolen bags.
You're the stat guy. Listen, he is the reason that they're, him and they got two good pitchers there, Reagans and
Seth Lugo, yeah.
Yeah. So, he's
9-3 WAR.
Yeah, 9-3 WAR. He's their stud, but it's still hard to take away from Judge.
Aaron Judge, 323 average, 55 home runs, 138 RBIs, and a 1.154 OPS.
I will tell you this, and this goes against my fandom, but if I were building a team today and I had a choice between taking Bobby Witt Jr. or Aaron Judge, I would take Bobby Witt Jr. I know. First of all, he's younger. Got to go with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to go with that. And he plays an elite position, and he plays it extremely well.
Yeah. One of the
Judge,
best.
they've put in center, and he's just an average center fielder. I mean, he's not a bad center fielder.
What's his WAR? I don't have it written down.
Defensively?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now. It was negative.
Yeah.
It was negative.
Really?
Yeah. He's, or maybe it was 0, but he's not a great defender in center, only because he can't get to that many balls. So I would say, though, you can't ignore 55 home runs, 130 plus RBI, OPS of 1-0, whatever it is.
115.
115. I mean, so I would go with Judge, and I think that's what most people would say.
It's a strong case. Yeah, it's a strong case, and he is favored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go Judge.
Yeah. Okay. So we both agree on Judge.
Yeah.
And who else? We're going NL MVP?
Yeah, we'll shift over to the NL MVP. You got Ohtani, Francisco Lindor, and I threw in Ketel Marte.
Well, considering that Ohtani just had the 50-50 historic, and probably the greatest single baseball game that anybody's ever played.
I've never seen anybody else do that.
And he was a DH in it. But I mean, 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 10 RBI,
2 stolen bags.
2 stolen bags. I heard Buster Olney from ESPN say that in the history of baseball, there's never been a better game. There's never been a player who played a better game than the one that just played a couple of nights ago.
Set the record.
Set the record of 50-50.
Yeah.
And to put that in perspective, we did a little bit of math. There was over 9,300,000 players that played in all the major league games in the last century in the lineups, starting lineups.
Yeah.
And nobody's had a better game. So what does that tell you? I mean,
he's one of a kind.
He really is.
Yeah.
So I would say he's the runaway in the NL.
I think so. Yeah, he's hitting 301, 53 home runs. I didn't rate the stolen bags. It's over 50.
He's 55 now. He's 55 and 55.
53 and 55.
53 and 55.
I guess home runs come first.
Yes.
Yeah, 53 and 55.
Yeah.
123 RBIs, 1023 OPS. So I'll just mention the other two guys out of consideration.
Sure.
Yeah. Francisco Lindor is having a good year. It's hitting 271 right now. 31 home runs, 836 OPS. He beat shortstop.
Definitely.
I didn't write the WAR, but I'd imagine
he's elite. He always has been.
Yeah. Ketel Marte is having a great year as well. 295 average with 35 home runs and a 940 OPS. So,
sure. Good years. Very good years. But Ohtani in any year in the last 130 is going to be, it's going to be Babe Ruth or Ohtani.
Yeah.
It's going to be Lou Gehrig or Ohtani. I mean, it's just that type of year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, Ohtani.
He's amazing.
So let's shift over to the AL Cy Young Award.
Okay.
Got 2 candidates right here.
Tariq
Skubal.
It just seems like he's the guy.
Yeah.
You like Corbin.
I liked Corbin, but then I read the rest of Skubal's stat line. 2.48 ERA, 17-4, 221 strikeouts. And I believe he's over 210 innings.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's
made every scheduled start.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Lugo, I told you, I thought was really good.
Yeah, I compared him to Corbin because Tarek is, I think, shooing.
Is it Tarek or Tariq?
Tariq, Tarek, if you're an Evan accent.
Okay, I don't know. All right.
It is an interesting name. Go back to the last episode we just did. We'll throw Tarek in.
Tariq Skubal. Yeah, we should have added him.
Yeah.
Cool names.
We compared Corbin to Seth Lugo.
By the way, Tyler told you missed a couple on the best baseball names. What was that?
He said...
Tyler, we love you.
Yeah. Shout out to Tyler. Sorry, not Seth Lugo. You can cut that. Lefty Grove was one of the names.
Right. Chipper Jones. How can we forget Chipper Jones?
Chipper Jones.
What are we doing?
That's an amazing nickname. Anyways, yeah, we missed some really good ones.
All right, so Tariq is pretty much the head and shoulders above.
Yeah.
But you think Corbin is a second?
2.95 ERA, 15-8, 172 strikeouts. You mentioned Seth Lugo, who has
One more win.
One more win. He's 16-9. One more loss, one more win. 175. It was like neck and neck.
The K's don't always do it for me because the best pitcher I ever saw, live, probably besides Mariano Rivera was probably the Professor. And he didn't have a lot of strikeouts.
A lot of ground ball outs.
Yeah, he's just very efficient. So the strikeouts, I get that why people like the strikeouts because that means you're dominant.
It
means
they're efficient.
It means it
means they're throwing strikes.
Well, they could be going a lot of 3 and 2 counts. The Professor, I say that because I can never remember his name. Greg Maddux, he would get guys out in the first two or three pitches of the at bat. Whereas guys who strike out, they kind of go 2 and 2, then they strike them out. So they go 4, 5, 6 pitches every at bat. So I don't know if, to be honest with you, I disagree with you. I don't think that's very efficient. I think that when you're a power pitcher, you got walks, you're trying to strike guys out. I think you pitch more like Greg Maddux could go 9 innings and throw, 90 pitches. The power pitchers can't do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was the most efficient. Yeah, I mean, he would put it anywhere he wanted.
Right. But that aside, that's just a side note. Tariq seems to be the hands down.
For sure.
Corbin could be 2. Lugo could be 2. That's a toss-up. Corbin hasn't done well lately. So he's back to form. I mean, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, he had a stretch of
a couple bad games.
Like 3 or 4 bad games. But anyway, he's a distant second to Tariq Skubal, and Skubal's on fire now.
He is.
Yeah. I think and we'll talk about that in the playoffs in a second. But
NL Cy Young, you got Chris Sale and Zach Wheeler. Sort of. I mean, Zach Wheeler's had a good year. Chris Sale is he's lights out.
He's been dominant. Yeah.
Chris Sale 2.38 ERA, 18-3, 225 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler 2.56 ERA, 16-7, and 213 strikeouts. Right. Chris Sale just looks like he's throwing a frisbee to these guys, and they have no chance of hitting it.
For sure.
Just his arm slot, his delivery. He's had problems in the past with injuries, and now you see him coming back to his Chicago White Sox days, and he's back to full form. He just looks dominant.
For sure. Okay. So that's that. Now we got the fireman or whatever they call him, the relief pitcher of the year.
Rolaids relief. They don't do that anymore, I thought.
No, I haven't seen that in a while.
No, but I would just say the best 2 or 3 relievers, Manuel Clase and Ryan Helsley. Right. I think they each have over 45 saves each. Right. Mason Miller was on track to have the most, but I don't know what happened.
He was out for a little while because I had him on my fantasy team.
He broke his thumb, right? Or his finger. Yeah,
I think he was punching something.
Angry. He was angry. Save or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Class A is to me.
Yeah.
He throws 100-mile-an-hour cutter. That's just.
How do you hit that?
Even Mariano didn't throw a 100-mile-an-hour cutter. He would throw a 96. But anyway, he's that. Who in the other league?
I'm gonna feel stupid saying this. Cardinals are NL.
What's his name?
Cardinals are in the NL. Ryan Helsley. Sorry.
We're gonna cut that. By the way, we can't have a baseball podcast that he doesn't know the Cardinals.
I could have just looked on the next page.
In the NL. So who in the NL would be the closer of the year?
I'd probably say Ryan Helsley.
And who does he play for?
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals. Great National League team. Love them. So those are our closers. That's pretty much you're getting a kick out of this, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. So so that's it on the awards. Yeah. Right? All right. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the playoffs because the folks out there, everybody's getting ready for playoff baseball. That to me is the most exciting. Just to you know this because you played in playoffs when you were in college. You played in playoffs when you were in high school, and even in travel ball. You get into the playoffs, baseball takes on a whole different feel because every pitch matters.
Yeah, it's what you train for. It's what you live for, really. The big moments,
right? And so just to give everybody kind of where things stand now, the Yankees are up at the time of this recording. The Yankees are up by 6 over the Orioles, so it looks like they'll
2-64.
Yeah, it looks like they'll win the AL East, and then the Guardians are up KC and the Tigers a little farther back, but they're
90 and 67
battling it out for for a wild card. Who do you think gets the? Well, let's go AL West. So the Astros have it pretty locked up, right?
85 and 71.
Yeah, that division doesn't have.
It hasn't been a strong division this year. This year, with the reigning champions in it, and they have had a pretty cruddy year, unfortunately.
Right.
Injuries, really, it looked like.
Right.
A lot of guys on the IL. A lot of guys coming back from the IL.
Right.
Just a little too late.
Little too late.
With the Rangers.
Let's talk about the wild card teams. So who do you like? Are you following kind of what's going on? The Tigers are making a push. Kansas City has dumped 7 games in a row. The Tigers are on fire, but I don't know that they have the pitching. Besides besides him, they're actually called up
Jackson Jobe. I
Jobe.
just saw that today. Yeah,
and he's
supposed to be
one of the best prospects in baseball. So they say he's going to go in the bullpen, but I don't know. I mean,
he got Eduardo, the lefty who's pitched for the Red Sox.
Right.
He was good for a stretch.
Yeah. But I mean, who do you think is going to grab that? Let's make a prediction. Who's going to grab that last wild card, that wild card spot? Assuming the Orioles get wild card spot,
I'd probably lean towards the Royals, considering you got such an elite shortstop in Bobby Witt, and you got Salvi probably playing on his last. Well, I said last few years. You mentioned he was 34 the other day.
Yeah,
but he's bigger now. I don't know. I could see it being, Kansas is going to have to somehow rebuild around.
Did you say Kansas?
Yeah.
People in Kansas City would be very upset if you said Kansas.
Sorry.
So it's Kansas City.
Sorry, Kansas City.
There you go.
I don't know. I think after this year they're going to need more pieces around Bobby Witt, so they're going to push for everything they got. But I definitely could see the Tigers making a run for it. They got Cole Keith. He's such a he was a sleeper for the Rookie of the Year. I'd like to see him get more votes.
Okay.
For the Tigers, great player.
Maybe he's better than Colton Cowser.
Colton
Cowser, yes. His friend Colby Mayo is another, but he's not eligible for Rookie of the Year.
I thought he got dropped.
And he's probably dropped.
He's probably
Colby is dropped.
DFA'd, yeah.
See that? You're right on that.
I don't know.
We both have pickleball on the brain right now, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Tigers, I think, are going to surprise some people and make a last push. But give me your AL prediction. Who gets through to the World Series? And then we'll do the NL. And then we'll talk about the matchup that we think we're gonna see.
And we're biased. It's our team, but I think the Yankees are going to make it.
The Yankees.
If I had to go sleeper option, I think the Guardians would also push through and at least make the championship series.
I don't think they have the pitching other than they have Clase and they have Bibby.
Tanner Bibby, yeah.
Tanner Bibby.
That's right, yeah.
But I don't think they have the starting pitching to get through. I honestly don't. I think they're a good team.
What about the Sticks?
They can hit. But I do think, like you said with the Yankees, I think Cole, Rodon, I think either Schmidt or Yeel, I think those guys have been at times dominant, and they don't have to be dominant if, and this is a big if the Yankees get, some help for, Judge and Soto, who have been carrying this team. But now you got their second baseman, Torres is starting to hit. Yeah. He looks really good the last week. Then you've got the big guy Stanton, who's crushing the ball.
Yeah.
And Volpe's been doing okay, and he's a great, he's a great base runner. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
But he's been hitting. He's holding his own. He gets some clutch hits. His 250 will kill you. Billy Martin, the old Yankee, used to say his lifetime batting average was 250, and he used to say, "My 1 for 4 would kill you," because he always came through in the clutch.
Yeah.
He had amazing World Series numbers. I digress, but. I do think the Yankees will make it through because they're kind of clicking on all cylinders now. Of course, they're whipping up on Oakland A's and some of the weaker teams. But
swept them, yeah.
Yeah, but I do think the Yankees have the most. I don't think the Orioles are just in a nosedive.
Yeah,
and they have Eflin and Burns, but they don't have much pitching past that. And they just DFA'd Craig Kimbrell, our friend from Huntsville. He's not really a friend, but we know him.
We know.
Yeah, if we said our name to him maybe 10 times, it might click in.
You had mentioned
we did a camp with him back in the day, 2010.
Shout out to Greg Kimbrell.
I know
you mentioned the Astros also. You mentioned the Astros also as a dark horse because of their playoff experience. Tell me why you think they could make that run. I mean, they only 85-71. They haven't cracked the 9. They're 5 away from the 90 win column, and with 7 to 8 games left, could or not get that 90.
Well, they're just battle tested. I mean, their whole lineup has won a World Series. It almost seems like, right? Pena's won a World Series. The third baseman has won a World Series. There's Jose Altuve.
They've always been able to hit.
Yeah, and then listen. Nobody's pitching worse in the league than Justin Verlander right now. I just looked up his last few starts. He's given up like 5 runs, 7 runs, 8 runs, 6 runs. He's really been shaky. But
so it's been Framber and Hunter Brown.
But you can't really count. He's also coming back from injury. Talking about Verlander.
Yeah.
So I think that
he's in his 40s.
Yeah. He might be his last push. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finds the old Verlander for a series or two. But so they're my dark horse.
Dark horse for sure.
And listen, I can't stand them, but good team. They've always done well in the playoffs. They know how to play. Listen, we talked about earlier. If you're in the playoffs, every pitch matters, and the whole world's watching, right? At least the United States. And many around the world. So it's big time baseball. I mean, it's time to step up, and the Astros have. And you can say what you want about the cheating and stuff, but they won after they cheated too. So, but I would say the Yankees, I know you like the Guardians as a dark horse. I like the Astros as a dark horse. And I don't know. That seems to be. I think we're going Yankees, you and I. Let's talk about the National League.
Yeah, Phillies, the Brewers, and the Dodgers.
They're leading their divisions right now.
Yes.
And they should finish with the lead, correct?
They should. Phillies are 92-64. Mets are second in the NL East with 87-69.
Right.
The NL Central, the Brewers are leading 89-76.
Right.
The Cubs are in second place, 80-76. In the NL West, the Dodgers are leading 93-63.
Mm-hmm.
Behind them is the Padres at 90-66. So the NL West division is pretty strong.
All right, so it feels like the Phillies and the Dodgers have the leg up on everything, right?
They do, yeah.
Who's got the better starting pitching? Just off the top of your head, who do you gravitate towards? I mean, you got Yamamoto, you got Kershaw, you've got who else on the Dodgers?
You said those first two guys, and on the ride home, I had mentioned Yamamoto still coming back from his injury,
right?
But he was dominant before that. Also, he's had playoff experience in Japan only, so
right, it's different.
It's a little different. So he'll get a taste of playoff ball in America, and it'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's dominant, so
yeah,
you
said they had injuries though.
The other starter you just mentioned, Kershaw, he's so injured. Yeah, he's getting up there, so he's been injured for, I don't know, maybe 70 to 80% of this year. And
oh wow, okay.
I haven't looked at his line for the stats, but I don't know. I mean,
he just doesn't throw.
He's like a Verlander. Yeah,
you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, they were both so dominant, but at their age and their stuff, like, is it any good anymore?
Right.
Like, will it get
what about the Brewers? I mean, they got Freddie Peralta and was it Savali? What is his name? Savali? I don't know him. Tobias Myers. They don't have. What's their record?
Devin Williams was the closer, by the way.
Okay.
89-67.
Okay, so good record.
I think it hurt them that they lost Christian Yelich a little bit, but they've been able to win.
They've still been winning.
Yeah, they've been able to win more games still, even without him. They got William Contreras behind the dish. He's been one of the best hitting catchers in the league still.
Yeah.
Willie Adames, short,
yeah,
he's been solid.
He used to be an Astro.
He did, yeah, that's right. Who else they got?
I don't know the Brewers as well, so I'll defer to you. But I do know the Phillies, and I do know the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And the Padres. Padres are below the Dodgers, but wild card wise, they're right in there.
90-win mark.
Yeah. So tell me your thoughts on the Padres.
You got a platinum glove right fielder and Fernando Tatis with a lot of power.
How's Machado doing this year?
I think pretty solid. He's over the 30 home runs.
Right. So his usual year. Pretty good year.
Probably 260, 270.
Right.
Hits well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. They got, who's the new pitcher? They got Yusei Kikuchi.
Yes.
Or no, not Yuki Matsui.
No, Kikuchi is with the Astros. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
Padres, I don't know who they have. That's why I'm asking.
It's a new guy. Yeah, it's a new guy. And he's been dominant. I think he's the relief guy.
Okay.
They also have got Michael King.
Michael King, you're right. Michael King,
he's been pretty solid.
He looked pretty good. Let me look him up real quick. So while I'm doing that, tell me, who do you think between the, what's that?
Wandy Peralta, maybe.
Wandy Peralta, okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to the starting pitchers for San. So they got Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease.
Had a no-hitter this year.
Michael King, yeah. So I knew there was another one. So Dylan Cease, 3.42 ERA, 14-11, 220 strikeouts and 184 innings. So to your point on strikeouts, 16 quality starts. So Dylan Cease is their ace. And and they've got Michael King, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove.
Okay? Joe Musgrove, yeah.
Yeah, so Musgrove. So that's good. And then to the
Jackson Merrill, too.
Jackson Merrill. And then to the Dodgers, they have Walker Buehler. But he's not as good anymore. You got Yamamoto, Jack Flaherty, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler. So interesting. So I'm sorry to cheat here. Just looking at their starting pitching. It feels like, obviously with Ohtani, who's going to be the MVP, and Mookie Betts, who's been an MVP, it feels like, and he's healthy now?
He's healthy now, but
so it feels like that they're the team to beat.
Freddie Freeman,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Freddie Freeman is amazing. Muncy.
Just those three guys. Max Muncy, yeah. He doesn't hit for average, but he always has the ability to have 35.
And he's a big game hitter, I think. So
yes.
I think that the Dodgers, I'm surprised they've been hurt a little bit. I'm surprised nobody in the league is going to win 100 games this year.
Yeah, I think the last few years, at least one team's won 100.
Yeah, usually you get one or two teams.
Yeah.
No 100-win season this year. It looks like, unless somebody reels off the rest of the season. But so who's your dark horse in the National League?
My dark horse, I'll go Padres.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Mets.
Why?
For no other reason than I like them. That's it. I love them. I love the Mets. I really do. And it's very unusual for someone who roots for the Yankees and is from New York.
How does that chant go? I can't remember.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Come right down and greet the Mets. Bring the kitties, bring the wife.
All right. It was good. Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
that's all you want?
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Guaranteed to have the time of your life. And then the Mets are really sucking that ball. That one's for Larry, my neighbor. Larry, we'd play the Met game, as I mentioned in a previous podcast, and we would sing the Met song. So I actually could sing it, all of it.
Okay, yeah.
But you've heard enough, and you're good.
Yeah, I think everybody else heard enough. Too,
all right, so everybody else heard enough. Yeah. All right, so that's my dark horse because they have the best song. And now they're playing well. Yeah. They are playing well. But the Phillies look like the team to beat, right? So is anybody beating the Phillies to play our Yankees in the World Series?
I'd have to look back at the schedule, but I mean, I think this last month they've been on a little bit of a losing stretch.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of coming back into their own, and I think they're going to have lightning in the bottle again because they're coming back with a little bit of vengeance from last year, how they went out.
Right.
I think they're going to want it this year. Yeah. We talked about the matchups, what it would be like, how cool it would be to see these matchups. We would love to see Yankees and Phillies or Yankees and Dodgers.
Well, the Yankees and Dodgers, they played so many times together in the 50s. But to see the two who are going to be the MVPs, Ohtani and Judge, the world may stop spinning. watching
yeah.
Judge and Ohtani play. I mean, you're talking about two of the greatest baseball players probably of all time, or at least having two of the greatest seasons of all time. And I think they'll continue to play at a very high level for more years.
Sold out every game. The city that never sleeps versus the city of angels. Like, the marketing is going to be crazy for it.
Wow, you just did it right there. I couldn't even say that.
Who's paying me?
Yeah, somebody
should.
There. So we think. So I guess, all right. I kind of would like to see Yankees Dodgers, but I think it's going to be Yankees Phillies.
I have a feeling. Yeah, I think Phillies are going to heat back up.
They have too much.
They do. Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys want another shot.
Schwarber, who's a gamer.
JT Realmuto.
Yeah, JT. Yeah, I think it's going to be Yankees, Phillies, and then I've got the Yankees in 7.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. I'm gonna go the other way. Actually,
What?
I know. I want the Yankees to win.
Okay,
but
your heart says Yankees.
With that vengeance, I'm worried. I think
you played too much pickleball tonight. If you're going with the Phillies,
I couldn't keep score. I was.
I know. We were playing pickleball. Yeah. We couldn't keep score. We were so tired. We've been up since 5.
If you've ever played pickleball, you know what we're talking about. Yeah. I'll go the other way. Yeah, I think the Phillies are going to be angry to win the World Series this year. And Bryce wants his first one. He's been in the league for, 12 years?
Yeah, Aaron doesn't want his first one either. So Aaron's like,
I want them to win.
You take it.
All our friends, yes. I want them to win. Don't worry, I
do. So that's it. So that's our predictions.
Yeah.
We don't know all the teams great, but we wanted to just kind of go through it, get on record who we think, dark horse, who's going to win it.
2 more series left,
I think we'll probably find podcasts, especially if the playoffs are really exciting, especially if the World Series is like an Ohtani versus Judge. We're going to have to jump on another podcast and talk about what we're seeing, especially if it's historic. Like they're both hitting multiple home run games and stuff like that. So
talks about it, like what would happen? Ohtani never got traded from the Angels. They're both in the AL. So somebody's getting picked for AL MVP, and
yeah. Good thing they don't have to judge that.
I know, judge that, yeah, right.
No pun intended.
But yeah, so this was episode 11. This was the end of season
awards.
Yeah, end of season awards breakdown. Just wanted to cover all our bases as the season closes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, it really helps us out if you do that. So if you smash that like button, our producer likes it when I say that. Smash that like button and subscribe. That would really she's getting a kick out of it. It would really, really help us out. Something with the algorithm, I have noticed. Smash that. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.